Ladies and gentlemen, your state creates your destiny. Imagine this. Two people face the exact same challenge. Both lose their job, their relationship falls apart, and they're left with nothing but uncertainty. One person crumbles under the pressure, believing life is over, while the other rises, fueled by a fire to rebuild and reinvent themselves. What's the difference? It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not even opportunity. It's the state they choose to live in. Your emotional and mental state is the invisible force that drives every decision, every action, and ultimately, every result in your life. When your state is weak, every problem feels 10 times heavier. When your state is powerful, those same problems turn into challenges you can crush. Think about the times when you felt unstoppable, when you were energized, confident, and ready to take on the world. In that state, nothing could hold you back, but in moments of fear, doubt, or frustration, even simple tasks feel impossible. That's how much state controls your life. The key is realizing you don't have to wait for life to get better to change your state. You can shift it instantly, right now, by changing your focus, your body language, and your inner dialogue. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on? If all you see are problems, your state will collapse. But if you start focusing on solutions, on the strength you already have inside, your energy shifts. Your body follows your mind. Stand up right now, roll your shoulders back, breathe deep like you own the space around you, and watch how your entire state changes in seconds. This isn't just motivation, it's science. Your physiology, your posture, your breathing patterns, even the words you speak. They all send signals to your brain about how to feel. When you intentionally control those signals, you take back your power. Most people wait for motivation to appear. They think they need to feel confident before they act. But here's the truth. Action changes state, and state changes everything. You don't wait to feel powerful. You act powerful first. When you take that first bold step, when you decide that nothing is going to break you, your state transforms and the results you get explode. This is the one technique that can rebuild any life. Shift your state, and you shift your reality. Because when you're in a powerful state, you make better choices, you take massive action, and you refuse to settle for less. Your energy becomes contagious, and opportunities start to open up because people are drawn to that power. The moment you take control of your state, you stop being a victim of life's storms, and you start becoming the force that moves them. You are not your circumstances. Let that sink in for a moment, because most people live their entire lives believing the opposite. They let the story of their current situation define who they are, as if losing a job, facing financial struggles, or going through heartbreak somehow erases their true identity. But what if I told you that your circumstances are just snapshots, temporary moments, not the full movie of your life? You are bigger than any storm you face. You are stronger than any failure you've experienced. The truth is, the power inside you isn't measured by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond. Think about the moments in life when everything felt impossible. Maybe you were staring at bills you couldn't pay, watching relationships fall apart, or waking up every day wondering how you'd make it to tomorrow. Those moments are not who you are. They're simply chapters of your story, not the title of your book. And yet, most people allow their current pain to become their permanent identity. They say things like, "I'm broke," or "I'm unlucky," or "I'm not good enough," when in reality, they're just experiencing a temporary setback. Your circumstances are not you. They're just a reflection of past actions, and they can change the moment you decide to change them. Imagine a seed buried deep in the dirt. At first glance, it looks lifeless, covered in darkness, forgotten. But beneath the surface, something powerful is happening. It's breaking, stretching, and preparing to grow into something magnificent. That's you. Right now, you might feel buried by life's challenges, but you're not buried. You're planted. Your current situation is just the dirt needed to spark your growth, to force you to dig deeper, to become stronger than you ever thought possible. The real danger is when you confuse your situation with your identity. If you've lost everything, you might start to believe you are a failure, but failure is never who you are. It's just feedback, a temporary result that's showing you a new direction. The moment you understand that who you are is far greater than anything that's happening around you, you gain the freedom to rebuild, to start fresh, to create a life that excites you. So, how do you separate yourself from your circumstances? It starts with the questions you ask yourself. Stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And start asking, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow because of this?" When you shift the focus from what's wrong to what's possible, your perspective changes. You begin to see that every challenge is just shaping you for something greater. The people who rise from rock bottom are the ones who realize they are not defined by their losses, but by the strength they discover in the middle of their struggles. They refuse to let their situation become their story, because they know they are the author, not the victim. Decision is power. One single decision can change the entire direction of your life. Think about it. Every breakthrough, every comeback story, every person who rose from nothing started with one powerful decision. It's not about what you know or what you hope for. It's about deciding that enough is enough, that you will no longer tolerate a life that doesn't reflect your true potential. Most people drift through life waiting for circumstances to change, waiting for a perfect moment that never comes. But winners, those who rebuild and rise, are the ones who create that moment through a decision so strong it leaves no room for going back. We all have moments where life punches us in the gut, moments when everything falls apart, when it feels like the walls are closing in. And in those moments, the difference between staying down and rising up is a decision. Not a weak wish, not a half-hearted plan, but a decision that is non-negotiable. When you decide, truly decide, your entire energy shifts. Your brain starts finding solutions, your heart reignites, and your actions align with the vision of the life you want to create. Think about a time when you finally drew the line and said no more. Maybe it was a toxic relationship, a dead-end job, or a habit that was destroying your health. That moment of decision didn't just change your thoughts. It changed your life, because real decisions are not just made with the mind, they're made with every fiber of your being. They create a ripple effect, forcing you to step into action, even when fear is screaming at you to stay where you are. People often say they want a better life, but wanting is weak compared to deciding. Wanting means you hope it happens someday. Deciding means you commit, you burn the bridges behind you, and you refuse to settle for anything less than the vision you've set for yourself. When you make that level of decision, your energy is unstoppable. Obstacles become stepping stones because you've already chosen the outcome in your mind. What's stopping most people? It's not lack of opportunity or resources, it's indecision. Indecision kills dreams faster than failure ever could. Failure teaches you, but indecision keeps you frozen, stuck in a loop of what if and maybe later. You've got to take control and say, this is it. I'm doing this now. I'm making this happen no matter what. That's the power of a decision. Once you decide, your mind finds a way. Think of the most successful people you admire. They didn't have a guarantee when they started, but they had a decision so fierce that failure was just part of the journey, not the end of it. They didn't wait for permission, and they didn't wait to feel ready. They chose, they acted, and they adapted until they made it real. Train your mind like a muscle. Imagine if you treated your mind the way athletes treat their bodies, with daily practice, discipline, and intentional growth. Most people let their thoughts run on autopilot, like a wild horse without direction, and then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed, stuck, or unmotivated. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but just like any muscle, it weakens if you don't train it. The difference between someone who collapses under pressure and someone who thrives in adversity is not luck. It's mental conditioning. Think about this. Every thought you have is like a rep in the gym. If you constantly focus on fear, doubt, or failure, you're training your mind to stay weak. But if you focus on possibilities, solutions, and gratitude, you're building a mental fortress that nothing can shake. High performers, resilient leaders, and people who rise from the bottom all have one thing in common. They've trained their minds to see opportunity where others see defeat, Training your mind doesn't happen by accident. It's a daily practice. Just as your body grows stronger with consistent workouts, your mental strength grows when you feed it empowering thoughts, push it beyond its comfort zone, and challenge it to focus on what truly matters. Every day, you have a choice to feed your mind with fear or to feed it with fuel. The books you read, the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you allow. All of these shape the mental diet that either strengthens or weakens your inner power. When was the last time you caught yourself spiraling in negative thoughts and snapped out of it? Most people don't even notice the destructive patterns playing in their heads. But here's the hook. Awareness is the first step to training your mind. You have to catch those old, disempowering thoughts and replace them with a new mental language. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you say, "I will find a way." Instead of asking, "Why me?" you ask, "What's the gift or lesson in this?" This shift in language is like adding weight to the bar. It's uncomfortable at first, but it makes you stronger with every rep. Your mind will resist at the start. Just like a muscle burns when you push it, your thoughts will fight back when you challenge the old stories you've been telling yourself. But growth happens beyond the burn. The more you train your mind to focus on possibilities, the more automatic it becomes. Soon, what once felt impossible will feel like second nature because you've built the mental strength to tackle anything. Here's the truth. Life will test you. Challenges are coming whether you're ready or not. But when your mind is trained, when it's sharp and unshakable, no storm can throw you off course. You stop reacting like a victim and you start responding like a warrior. You already have the greatest resource, you. Most people are searching outside themselves for the answers, waiting for someone else to rescue them, for the perfect opportunity, or for life to suddenly turn in their favor. But here's the reality. Everything you need to rise, rebuild, and create the life you want is already inside you. You don't need to wait for permission or for the right conditions to show up. The power, the creativity, the resilience. It's all there, waiting for you to tap into it. Think about the moments in your life when you surprised yourself. Times when you thought you couldn't go on, but somehow you did. Maybe you didn't have the money, the support, or the resources you thought you needed, but you still found a way. That's not luck. That's your inner power. You've faced storms before and survived them. You've overcome pain, heartbreak, rejection, and fear. If you really think about it, you have a track record of surviving 100% of your worst days, and that's proof of what's inside you. The problem is, most people forget their own power. They look at what they've lost instead of what they have. They focus on what's missing instead of recognizing the tools they've carried all along. Courage, determination, creativity, and the ability to adapt. It's like someone searching for a key that's already in their pocket. You already have what you need, you just have to believe it and use it. Your greatest resource is not money, it's not connections, and it's not luck. It's your mindset, your energy, and your ability to take action when others freeze. There are people out there with fewer resources, fewer chances, and fewer advantages who are still building extraordinary lives because they understand that the only thing that truly matters is how you show up. They're not waiting for the world to hand them something. They create opportunities because they trust themselves enough to figure it out. Ask yourself this. What would change if you stopped saying, "I can't because I don't have enough," and started asking, "How can I make this happen with what I've got?" That single question unleashes your creativity. It shifts your brain from limitation to possibility. Suddenly, you start finding answers, seeing opportunities, and attracting solutions that you never noticed before. That's because you've tapped into the resource that was always there. No one is coming to save you, and that's not bad news, it's the best news, because once you realize you are the answer, you stop waiting, you stop doubting, and you start building. You start trusting your instincts, following your vision, and taking steps forward even when the path isn't clear. Your power doesn't come from what's around you. It comes from who you decide to be in the face of challenges. Act as if victory is certain. What happens to your posture, your voice, your breathing, your decisions when you embody the version of you who's already won? Hook into this. Most people wait to feel confident before they act confident. But the fastest shortcut to confidence is behavior first, emotion second. Stand like you own the room, breathe like oxygen is fuel, speak like the outcome is inevitable, and watch how your nervous system rewires in real time. Your brain takes cues from your body, shoulders back, chin up, deeper breaths, stronger tonality, and it starts generating the chemistry of certainty. Try this before you send that message, make that call, step on that stage, or sit down to build your dream. Shift your physiology on purpose. Ask, if I had already achieved the result, how would I move right now? How would I talk? How fast would I make this decision? Then do exactly that. The hook is simple but brutal. Hesitation teaches your mind to doubt. Decisive motion teaches your mind to trust. You're not faking it. You're priming it. Athletes visualize the win before the game. Pilots rehearse landings before takeoff. Top performers run the outcome in their body first, and the body drags the mind there with it. Start noticing the micro moments where you collapse, the sigh before you start, the hunched shoulders when you face resistance, the soft voice when you ask for what you want. Interrupt them. Replace them with power moves, power breath, power stance, power words. Speak in declaratives, not question marks. Replace I hope with I will. Replace, if it works, with when it works. Your language is a contract with your future, and here's the twist. Acting as if victory is certain doesn't make you delusional, it makes you resourceful. You stop scanning for reasons it won't work and start scanning for strategies to make it work. You stop negotiating with fear and start negotiating with reality. Opportunities respond differently to someone who shows up with certainty. People sense conviction, they align with it, and doors open that hesitation never even knocks on. The fear will still whisper, but what if you fail? Answer it with action. The identity you operate from determines the options you even notice. So wear the identity of the winner before the win shows up. Because the win often shows up because you wore that identity. Ask yourself every morning, if the win was guaranteed, what would I do today? What would I stop doing? Who would I call? What standard would I stop tolerating? Then embody that standard in your tone, your calendar, your boundaries, your energy. The body is the steering wheel.